Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello. I know you were expecting Alfia ma'am, but since you have a guest coming today for SDG, how was your weekend?
Good.
Good. Where's the rest of the gang? Are y'all like this every time 10 o'clock in the morning, or it's just that I came, that's the reason y'all are like this? Yeah? Oh, you should. Did y'all have breakfast? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
I know, Abdullah, there seems to be some problem with the internet at my end. I'm so sorry. Okay, so did y'all have breakfast, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we start our session.
What up, food tubers? It's the day after Christmas. We got a fridge full of gorgeous stuff, all the leftovers. So we're gonna make a beautiful turkey bang me. Cue the dramatic music. Beautiful, spiced, sticky, crispy skinned turkey. Fantastic, flavoured mayo. Wonderful. Pickled veg. A few days ago, that was just a regular roast turkey. Now look at it. That's gonna slap up your taste buds. You're gonna love it. Just a tiny little drizzle of oil. Pull pieces of turkey. When we're reheating it, we're making it soft and gooey and sticky on the inside. Any skin, just pull it off and that's gonna go crispy. Also, if you've kind of let your turkey sort of cool down, sometimes you get some nice fat and stuff around here, but that's basically like a little stock cube and that's gonna make it super tasty. So let me just wash my hands. I've got French baguettes. Put them in the oven. 130, get them warm, 10 minutes while we do this. Okay, the next bit, I'm gonna make an amazing spiced mayonnaise. Take some ginger, 1/2 inch into there. So we're gonna get that freshness and that heat from the ginger. A nice pinch of salt. Then we want just a small clove of garlic. Let's just paste that. And I have to say, this mayonnaise is also good with any seafood. And if you didn't see the crispy squid recipe, click the box below, because that's a good one. So once you've got it looking like this, right, that's a good thing. We're gonna go in with a small handful of coriander, add a little bit of extra virgin oil to get the flavors going, a good 2 or 3 tablespoons of mayo. And by the way, once you've made this, this will keep for a week. It'll keep for longer if you didn't put garlic in. Look at the colour change. I want some lime juice. Actually, let's put the zest in with our turkey. In with the lime juice. I'm going to get some of this sweet chilli sauce. It's got sugar in it, so it's going to caramelise. So I'm going to turn this right down now. I'm going to put in a couple of tablespoons, and we're going to glaze that turkey. Give it a shake. And I'm going to turn that off in like a minute or 2. This is an important bit. It's like a little bit of light. We want a pickle. Get yourself a standard box grater, and we're going to go cucumber, carrots, cabbage. Pat that off, hit it with some salt, and we're actually going to let most of that salt drain away, so don't start getting salt police on me. Coriander, just a little bit of ginger. Put that in there with the veg, just scrunch it. Let the salt really penetrate that veg. Once we've scrunched it a little bit, right, then we're just gonna squeeze that, and the salt is bringing that moisture out. It's delicately seasoning the veg, but also, guys, most of that salt's gone, okay? So back into the bowl, then all I like to do is hit it with a tiny thimble of sesame oil, a teaspoon of soy sauce, and then a little bit of vinegar, acidity. Have a little taste. Hey! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Time to cut the French baguette. Next, we need pate. Loads of people have got this in their fridges at this time of the year, but if you want to know how to make your own pate, then just swing over to DJ Barbecue on his channel, and he's going to show you how to make a beautiful chicken liver parfait pate that's absolutely blinding. So, next up, butter this with pate. There's nothing more French than a pate and a baguette, but it's soon going to get mixed up with the fusion of the Vietnamese cooking. Right, first layer done. Now for the turkey. Build up your glazed turkey, big bits, small bits, crispy skin. Then it's time for the mayonnaise. Nice little blobs of your incredible mayonnaise go straight into that lovely little world. Next, it's time for the quick pickle. Get a nice pinch of it, unload it.
Okay, so I hope you saw the video. Did you see it? Yes.
The last part was
Okay, why did I talk about sandwich on Monday morning? Tell me. Tell me, what were the steps? What were the layers of sandwiches? Who can tell me? Please unmute yourself and go on, tell me. What were the layers in the sandwich? I hope you saw the video. Yeah, you needed a bread. Okay.
a turkey.
Okay, that was your filling inside. Perfect.
Yeah. And then you add mayonnaise.
Okay, that was for your seasoning to make it extra tastier. Okay.
And then you put some fills, like that
Okay.
noodle like thing.
So veggies, you mean to say?
Yeah. Fill.
Right, perfect. Perfect.
And then you put another bread on top.
Another bread on the top. Well done, Safiya. Well done. And for seasoning, did you use anything? Amina, Abdullah, Sakleen. Come on, guys. Muazzam Mutaffir. What did he use for seasoning? Farhan Ahmad, Humaira.
That paste.
Yes, he used a pate. Okay. And what else did he use? He used, I think, ginger. Yes, pate Ahmad. Well done. Okay. He used ginger, garlic. Right. So basically, it's a sandwich, right? Okay. Can you see the sandwich? I've made a sandwich as well. Okay, it's not as yummy and as delicious as his. I've got breads and I've got my fillings and I've got a bread down there. Now tell me, why am I talking about a sandwich? You know, why am I talking about the layers of the sandwich? Yes, Safiya.
Because in Monday they serve sandwiches in WeWork.
Okay. Oh, that's when we go to WeWork. Of course, we'll be having Monday breakfast. But you know, your sandwich is very much like your speech that you make. Okay. The speech that you give and persuasive speech which you gave me last time was fantastic. But you know, there were some elements missing, and then I was wondering, how do I go about to explain what elements are required? And I thought, why not a sandwich? You know, your speech is exactly like a sandwich. Okay, you know the breads which we talk about, the top and the bottom bread, they are your introductory paragraph and your conclusive paragraph. Are you getting it? That means you need to have an introduction in your speech. You need to have a conclusion in your speech. Now, in case if I have no bread, okay, at the top and the bottom, and it's just the filling inside, would it be a sandwich? Tell me. Would it be a sandwich? Come on, guys. I want everybody to answer. Mazam Mudabir, I know you've gone into the Jamie Oliver, and you're just waiting to try and make that sandwich and make your mom happy, right? Right? Mazam Mudabir, okay? So tell me, Amina, you must have made sandwiches. So if I don't have bread, right? The first, the top and the bottom layer as bread, will it be a sandwich?
No.
Will it be a perfect sandwich?
No.
Maybe it could be an
No.
open sandwich, but then it wouldn't be. It would be maybe probably just a pasta or maybe just a salad, right? So it is very important that when you are giving a speech, okay, or whenever you're writing a speech, you have to remember you need to give an introduction, okay, about the topic, and you need to give a punchline. Why? Because that would be your conclusion. Okay. Now, what all did my sandwich have? It had what? Turkey. Am I right? What else did it have? Turkey.
Vegetables.
Okay, pickles
Cheese.
and
Mayonnaise.
vegetables.
Mayonnaise.
Okay, mayonnaise, and then you have
Salt
all
and
the seasonings. Now, that would be your main part, your main
Vinegar.
paragraph. Yes, vinegar. Yes, vinegar for the acidity. So don't you think your speech should have a mixture of everything, right? Your speech should have good content. Your speech should have facts and figures, okay? And your speech should have statistics. So this is like the main masala of your sandwich, and that is the middle part of your speech. Now, if you just put turkey, will it taste good? No, you need mayonnaise with it. You need seasoning with it. So with that, maybe you could have a bit of humor in your speech, or maybe you could give some quotes. You know the quotes. There are so many people having beautiful quotes. You could give data in your speech. You could give statistics in your speech. You can give facts and figures in your speech to make it more interesting and to make it more appealing and to get your point across. And the most important thing is you make sure that you believe in what you're talking, or you believe in what you're writing. Once you do that, then things will fall into the place. Did you see the confidence of Jamie Oliver when he was making that sandwich? He knew it's like lovely, and he had faith and he believed that he's going to make an excellent sandwich and it's going to taste yum. That way it goes. He knows he's a good cook. He believes in what he's doing. He loves what he's doing. So when you're doing a persuasive writing or when you're doing a persuasive speech, believe in yourself. Believe in the topic you're going to talk about and accordingly prepare. So all you have to do whenever you're writing a persuasive speech or writing it or you're delivering it, you will remember a sandwich. That's about it. And the layers in the sandwich is how you will going to build up your content. Right? Now, another thing, don't leave your paragraphs hanging. Just don't leave them hanging. Over here, if you see the sandwich, they are glued together, they are bound together with connective. The same way you need to do that. You just can't talk about, sky in first paragraph and just directly jump to the earth. Maybe you might connect with, certainly like maybe a horizon would come in between. You need to connect your paragraphs. The reason I'm telling you all this is because I want you all to review your own speech, which you all gave me last time, and tell me, was it as per the requirement of a sandwich? Okay, I'll share my screen with you once again, and I'll just show you a bit. Okay, it would be Biryani Ahmad. Okay, Omera says the voice isn't clear. Anyways, okay, we go ahead. Okay, so. Okay, can you see the screen, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so these are your checklist. Okay, remember, whenever you have to talk about persuasive speech, these are your checklists. And we start with, first is your title. Okay, so you need to have a good title. The way you've given fantastic names, okay, to yourself. The same way for your speech or for your writing, you need to have a title which is impactful. See, there are so many times we pick up a book. Why? Because the title sounds intriguing. There are so many times we watch a movie. Why? Because the title is interesting. The same way, you need to have a lovely, a lively, a very brilliant title so that the audience sits up, or the reader wants to read more. Okay. Secondly, because you're persuading, you need to give your reasons. Why are you right? If you can't give reasons, if you can't give validations, then you cannot persuade the person opposite. You cannot do it. If you yourself don't have faith, if you yourself don't give valid reasons for it, then it will not go ahead. Your speech will fall flat. Okay. Thirdly, are the facts and evidences. Like I said, you need to give facts and evidences to support, right? Like when we were talking about Thanos, you could have given me so many facts related to it, why he needs to give us the stone back. There were so many evidence you could have produced. These are the things which are like a backbone, of your speech. Connecting, right? So you need to connect, like I said, you just can't jump from, it's not like, loses kind of interest, because all of a sudden you're talking about red and all of a sudden you jump to blue, and there's no connection in between, which is very, very important. Okay. Now you need to use your, what are rhetorical questions? Can anybody tell me what are rhetorical questions? Anybody? Yes, please tell me. What are rhetorical questions? Nobody? Or y'all can't hear me, see me? Or y'all ate the sandwich, but now y'all want tea or coffee to wake you up?
Ma'am,
Yes, go on, tell me, it's okay.
a question that is related to a topic.
Okay, it's related to the topic. Rhetorical questions are mostly questions for which, of course, it will be very much related to your topic, but wherein, you make the person think. The person need not give you an answer, but it makes the person think, okay? And you use your persuasive devices like agreement, obviously there has to be a common ground between you and the opposite person, okay? So you have to use this kind of words, and this is going to be the filling of your speech or your writing. And the final thing is the conclusion, wherein you're going to summarize and you're going to give your opinion. So now you see the checklist, so simple, so easy. And now that when you have to do any kind of writing or you have to give your speech, you need to remember just your sandwich. That's your first thing, is your introduction, your title, and then all the filling go inside. That's your reason, your facts, your connectives, your persuasive devices, your powerful adjectives, your rhetorical question, and the final topping bread is your conclusion. Without this, your sandwich isn't complete. Without all this, your speech isn't complete or your writing isn't complete. It will hang in between. It will miss something. It will miss that zing, that impact, which you want. And when you are persuading, you cannot, at no chance can you afford to lose out on any particular thing. Remember that. When it comes to persuasion, no chance. Now, tell me one thing, in advertising, people just go out of their way. They go on a roll trying to persuade their audiences, to persuade their client to buy their products. How do they do it? Right? They connect. And that is what is very important, that you need to connect to your audience. And how will you connect to your audience? How will you connect to your readers? Is when you make sure your speech, your jingle, or your writing consists of what we spoken about. Okay, so now we can just go a bit ahead, okay, and we will see how can we go ahead with the checklist that I've given, how we are going to actually implement it, okay. So just a minute. Put my video off so y'all can chill. Okay. Right. Here we go. Okay. So first, like I said, it's your introduction. So in your introduction, why are you writing this speech and what do you want the outcome to be? Okay. So can we just have pen and paper with everybody, please? A pen and a paper. Okay. Can we just have a pen paper? I want everybody with a pen and a paper, please. Okay. Can you just tell me, like, you know, we'll just continue with our speech, which we had last time about the Thanos thing. The first introduction would be, why are you writing this speech and what do you want the outcome to be? So if you could just write that for me, please.
Can you repeat what you just said?
It's on the screen. Can you see it on the screen? I've shared the
Yes.
screen with you. Okay. So your first part, your first paragraph in your speech is what? Your introduction. Okay. So can you just write that paragraph 1 and introduction? And in your introduction, what are you going to write? You're going to write why are you writing this speech and what do you want the outcome to be? So why and outcome. Just these two things you write. Okay. So you're going to just write para 1 introduction, and in the introduction you're going to write why and outcome. Just write that. Do not write the entire reasoning right now. You're just making a template, a format.
I'm done.
Okay, done. Fantastic. Now your para 2 is what? You will make your first point strong. That means you are going in the flow. So you are going to make sure that your introduction which you gave, that why are you writing this speech, you're going to make it stronger. Okay? You are going to give more reasons for it. Got it? Okay? Then your third para will be make links with your last point and move into another one. That means what you've written in your paragraph 2, when you're ending it, you are going to connect it with your paragraph 3. The beginning of your paragraph 3 is nothing but it's going to be a connection to the last point you have made.
Ma'am,
And then, yes, Sophia?
what do you want your outcome to be means what do I want to speak about?
Yeah, what do you want the outcome? See, why are you writing this speech is why what you believe in, okay? And what you want the outcome, just write these few words right now. The speech part, we are going to write it later. We're not going to write like right now. Just write outcome. Outcome is at the end of it, after giving the speech, what is the result which you want? Or what is the result that you are expecting? Got it? So do not write the speech right now, just write this template. So this would be like a format, a kind of a
Appu. Wait.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just out again. Okay, I'll share the screen again. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Okay. Till which para did you all reach? I was with you till which paragraph?
3.
3.
Third.
Okay, but you're getting the flow, right? I don't want you to write the speech right now. Just write the format, okay? I hope you're getting it. Sakleen, Mozam, Mutabir, I hope you're getting it, right? Right? Don't give me a speech right now, okay, Abdullah Saqib? We'll write the speech later. You understand the format, you understand the steps, and then you can give me the speech, okay? Right. So now your para 3 is done and your paragraph 4, that will be your final point, your last point, and it will be your strongest one. Can anybody tell me why would my... Yes?
Can I take a look at paragraph 1 for a second?
Sorry? You want me to go to paragraph once again?
Yeah, I just want to check.
Okay. Paragraph 1 would be your introduction, why, and outcome. In your paragraph 2, you'll be introducing your first point and it's following your introduction. Paragraph 3, you'll be giving your second point, okay? And you will be linking it with the point which you mentioned in your paragraph 2. Okay? Paragraph 4 is going to be my final point and my strongest one. Why do I need to give a strongest point in paragraph 4? Tell me. Yes? Anybody? Y'all can just unmute because I'm not seeing you right now. You can unmute and just tell me. Why is my final point going to be the strongest one? I'm back.
Ma'am, you have to reshare your screen again.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm so sorry about this. Okay. So your point 4 will be your strongest one. Okay. Okay. And your point 5 is your conclusion. Okay. So in your conclusion, you will summarize your main points which you've written earlier. Okay. You won't go into details, just a bit of summary and a final bit to convince or persuade your audience. So remember, your conclusion will be very powerful, very impactful because it's got to have a punch. That is your closing statement. Got it? Because after that, you are not going to get a chance again. So you have to bid as if your life depends on it. Okay? So you're going to summarize your main points out here, and this will be your final closing statement, which you will have to make it very, very impressive. Are we done? Can we just go ahead?
Ma'am, yes.
Okay. Okay, so what are the tricks that I can use from the writer's toolbox? Okay, you can use a metaphor in your speech. You can use a simile in your speech. You can use statistics in your speech. Okay, repeated phrase or a quote. You can use adjectives, rhetorical question, emotions. Yes, emotions you can use, and your personal story. You would like to share something which happened with you, and with that you could connect to your audience. You can use any of them to make your speech even more interesting and even more convincing. Because at the end of it, remember, you need, your outcome is what? That whatever you're expecting, what you want, you're getting it. The speech main reason is because you want to convince, you want to persuade your audience. And for that, you could use any of these particular tricks. Okay. So I hope you've got an idea about what I'm talking. Can I just go ahead?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's your metaphor, simile, stats, phrases, quotes, adjectives, rhetorical questions, emotions, and personal story. Okay. Now, tell me, may I ask, class is for, Safia, who are you, Safia Ahmad? May I know who is Safia Ahmad out here?
And there
Okay,
is
she's
a
there. No, she just sent me a message asking, may I ask what this class is for? Remember, she was joining in during a fitness session,
Yes.
Amino?
Yes.
Yes, Safia. So I don't know.
Ma'am, it was not me, ma'am.
No, it wasn't you because I saw you exercising, so it couldn't be you. Okay. So now you're getting an idea. Okay. I'll give you an example. We'll just see an example of a speech and we will try to dissect it. You know, dissection, the way doctors do. So we're going to dissect it. And I'll just share it with you all. Just a minute. Okay. I hope everybody can see this. Right? Okay. Now this is an annotation, okay, wherein you have an example of speech and what are the different body parts of the speech, they put the numbers with it, okay. So when I see on the screen where the content is there, should Mother's Day be banned? Now this is the title of the speech, okay. Now this was my title of the speech, okay. And can you see the lines over there, 2 and 3? On the first paragraph, can you see the lines?
Yes.
Right, between the boxes and the content of the speech, can you see those two lines, green and blue lines? Right, and those numbers are written on it, 2 and 3. So 2 is the text structure, that is the introduction. So over here, your 2 is your introduction of the speech, okay? And 3 denotes what? That it's a paragraphing. Again, it is the one that is introducing the topic. Okay, I hope you can see the screen clearly and I hope you can understand what is happening out here. Y'all can dissect it. Boys, where are y'all? Can y'all tell me, please?
Yes, we can see.
Awesome, Mutafir. I hope you can get the idea because I think you're big enough and
And the
everybody is
color
big
that
enough.
is annotated in is that number.
Exactly. Can you see that? Yeah, it's annotated with the colors, you know. So if you have a purple, you have a 1 written over there. So in the purple box on the right side, right, 1 is written. And it's written audience, persuasive device. That is strong language. What is the strong language written over here? I am of the firm belief. Firm belief is your persuasive device. It's a device that you're using. It's your card. You know, your wild card which you're using. That is your strong language. Okay. Now this whole paragraph is green color line you can see, and simultaneously the green box and number 2 is written out here, which means text structure. Can you see it, Taklane? Are you getting it? Yeah. Abdullah, you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mawsam Mutapir,
Ma'am.
are you getting the idea?
Yes,
Perfect.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so I am of the firm belief that Mother's Day should definitely. Now, what is definitely? Can anybody tell me? Look at the number, look at the color.
Audience
Math and tell me.
persuasive device.
Persuasive
Number one.
device.
language.
Yes, perfect, perfect. Deep band. Okay. Now he's saying his reasons. Okay. First is what? By giving this speech, what is the outcome the person is looking for? That Mother's Day should be banned. Remember, we spoke about why the introduction should always be why am I talking about this particular topic, and the second thing is what the outcome is. So here the outcome he wants is that he wants Mother's Day to be banned. Okay, now why he wants this? Why? My reasons for this are simple. It is complete waste of money, it excludes many people, and every day should be Mother's Day. Now Humaira, can you tell me what color is that written in? It's in blue, right? And it's got a number 4 to it. So can you match and tell me what exactly is the blue and 4 out there?
Ma'am, I didn't hear you.
Can you see the blue in the first paragraph, Humaira? It is complete waste of money. It excludes many people and every day should be Mother's Day. It's blue in color and it's number 4. So what is that? What part of speech would that be? Yes, Aklain, could you tell me, please?
Ideas directly states ideas in order to of paragraphs.
Perfect, perfect. This is his idea. Okay, and here he is very clear about his idea why he wants Mother's Day to be banned. Okay, now moving to the second paragraph. Can you see the vertical lines of the second paragraph is 11 and 6. Okay, can you see it? 11 and 6. So what is my 11 number? Let me check. 11 number,
Text
can you see it?
structure and body.
Text structure. And what is my number 6? Can anybody tell me?
Paragraph and idea on waste of
of money.
Hi guys, I'm so sorry. You know what? Today actually looks like my internet is also, having those Monday blues. So time and again it's coming and it's being disconnected. Okay, moving on. So my number 6 is what? It's idea 1. Remember what I said? That after introduction, your first point will come in your, after the introduction, the paragraph, in that your first point will come. Okay. So now after introduction, this is my first paragraph. Can you see this was my introduction? And then after that, my first paragraph, it begins with what? Firstly, Mother's Day is an enormous waste of money. Okay. So when I say firstly, what is it? Tell me. Mawsam Mudaffir.
First point.
First point, fantastic. It is linking words as well. Because it's orange in color. Number 7, can you see cohesion, linking words? So here what it's doing, it's connecting your introductory paragraph to your next paragraph. Okay. Now when I'm having that, Okay, when I'm connecting, remember I said do not start with something new altogether. Make sure that you're linking your previous paragraph to your current paragraph. So how is this person linking the previous paragraph with the current paragraph? Yes, Amina, tell me.
He is linking it because it is like the ending of the previous paragraph is linking to the.
Waste of money, right? In his introduction paragraph, he's written it is a complete waste of money, and he's linking it by saying firstly. That's his cohesion. That's a linking word. Mother's Day is an enormous waste of money. Okay. After that, you have many children buy gifts such as dressing gowns, slippers, chocolates, and flowers. Okay. So Farhana, can you tell me what is out here, the annotation out here?
Hello.
Yes, Farhana, tell me.
The chocolates and the chocolates that is waste. This one.
Yes, many children buy gifts such as dressing gowns, slippers, chocolates, and flowers. So tell me, what color is it and what number
Is the
annotation does it have?
punctuation, the fifth one. Correct use of commas.
Okay, and the list is given to you. Okay, so this is kind of building up your case because this is what, how do they waste the money? This is the way they waste the money. Okay, what if the dressing gown does not fit? What if they do not like the slippers? So now I want Safiya to tell me what color annotation is it and what does it tell? Safiya, are you there?
Yes.
Tell me. So what color is it? What if the dressing gown does not fit and what if they do not like the slippers?
It is purple in color.
And which number, annotation number?
And
9?
yeah. Yes, ma'am. 9. And audience persuasive devices questions. He's asking a question like, what if the dressing gown does not fit the mother, or what if they do not like the slippers? He's questioning the audience. Hey, by mistake.
I know, I think I'm playing hide and seek with you all today. Right?
Yes.
I just come and go, come and go, and come and go.
The
Okay,
person
maybe
is questioning the audience.
exactly. Exactly. You know, whenever you question the audience, so you know, it's a very normal thing, and this happens with you all also. Okay. After some time, your mind starts wandering, right? You just go in your own world and your mind is just flying away. But when you question a person, the mind comes back. Okay. So one thing is you have two advantages of questioning. One is that you capture the attention of the audience, and second is you will make the person think. No better way to make a person think is than by asking a question. I can keep on explaining to you for half an hour and 1 hour, but my few questions I ask you will make you think more better than those explanations. Okay,
Yeah.
so we will continue with this session next time. Okay, and the thing is, time is up and we still have more to go. So remember what we did today in persuasive writing is, remember the sandwich part. Okay, and I'm going to eat this sandwich right now. I'm going to make some chai, hot chai also, or probably coffee for myself. And your speech should be like a sandwich. You should eat the bread. That's your opening statement and your closing statement, right? Your introductory and your closing. I'm gone again, Farhana. Am I gone again? Okay, I'm there.
Oh.
Fantastic. So it's your opening and your closing, the upper breath and the lower breath, which has to be there to make your speech effective and crunchy and worthwhile holding. Inside will be your content, which will be all your masalas and your seasonings and your turkeys and your chicken and your cheese and mayo. So that would be again your questions. It would be your data, your statistics, your rhetorical questions, your metaphor, simile, emoji.
डॉक्टर नाइक का दोस्त बोल रहा हूँ वो घर में आपसे मुलाकात हुई थी डॉक्टर साहब के क्या तो मेरा तो कोई गैस का चूल्हा का जरा ये था मसला डायरेक्ट गैस है मेरे को हम लोग ये सेक्टर 27 है डॉक्टर साहब ना उसके करीब प्लॉट नंबर 96 सेक्टर 27
Thank you so much for bearing up with this internet problem. You all have been extremely brilliant, and you all have been so patient and you all have been really kind. That was really, really nice of you all. So with this, we end the session. Okay. Thank you very much once again for playing hide and seek with me. And guess what? Every time I was hiding, you all caught me. Yeah. So you all are brilliant at it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. We'll continue with our session the next time. Hopefully that time we don't play hide and yes. High five, Sakleen. Thank you. Amina, yes, well done. Bye-bye. Thank you for being so kind and patient. Love you all. Bye-bye.